All right, welcome back to another episode of Los Compadres Del Beis. With us today is Ponch.
Hola.
And Sam.
Hey.
So we're going to cover a few things. We're going to go over the standings of the baseball and see any surprise teams, what we think about who's in first, and if there's anything that surprises us. We're going to go over instant replay, a few of the implementations on that, and then the transfer rule, how it came about, and then how it went away. And we're going to go over Buster Posey, go over some stats, and Pujols hitting his 500th home run. But let's start it off with the hot topic of the day, the Donald Sterling. Ponch?
Ultimate douchebag. Anyone can confirm that?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I haven't actually... Have any of you actually heard the recording yet?
I was just going to ask that, if anyone actually heard what happened.
The recording's not really... He didn't say it straight out, but this day and age, you can mask and go around it, but it's what he said. It's one of those things where remember and say it's like not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
It's how we said it.
Well, the thing is...
pretty bad.
Well, I was thinking that earlier today. I have not heard actually what was actually said, but I was thinking, well, we're all... I wouldn't say racist a bit, but I mean, just between us, we're all in our text, we say some racist shit here and there. But
that's private.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Wasn't this supposed to be private?
But it became public.
Well, that's the thing. If someone's, one of us decides to be an asshole and say, well, Bert said this on this text and it was pretty racist, or Ponch said this, he called someone a Pikachu, shit like that.
But you gotta remember, the girlfriend is doing it because the wife is trying to sue.
See, I know
to try to get all that. To try to, because Donald Sterling paid for her cars, a fancy apartment, and is giving her money every single month. So you got to remember, the wife of Donald Sterling, which is weird, is in a love triangle, and she's doing this, and the girlfriend's trying to do it to try to get at him. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the whole situation honestly, but from what I've kind of read, at least kind of some of the things he might have said. But one thing is to joke around, and one thing is like none of us seriously would say don't bring black people to the game and mean it. Yeah. Which is what I haven't heard the recording, but what he said.
You can tell though she's egging him on.
Yeah,
she's like kind of like, come on, say something bad, say something.
At first she's kind of baiting him, but if he wasn't racist and didn't feel that way legitimately, he wouldn't be baited into saying anything that would incriminate him.
So I mean, it's funny that we're talking about this like we're passing judgment over something we know nothing about because none of us really heard shit. But I mean. So what you guys are saying, it makes me think like, so she basically asked him a question knowing that she was recording, or not asked him a question, but pretty much baited him into knowing that he was racist about.
Yeah, because he's been known to have racist slurs.
Okay, if I kind of brought up, well, this is I'm not sure if this is like the whole thing or just an excerpt, but okay, so this is V. I'm guessing that is what was his?
Yeah, the chick's name.
Yeah, she says, "I don't understand. I don't see your views. I wasn't raised the way you were raised." Donald Sterling replies with, "Well then, if you don't feel, don't come to my games. Don't bring black people and don't come." She responds, Do you know that you have a whole team that's black that plays for you?" He responds, "You just do I know? I support them and give them food and clothes and cars and houses. Who gives it to them? Does someone else give it to them? Do I know what I have? Who makes the game? Do I make the game or do they make the game? Is there 30 owners that created the league?" Which is kind of a little... I don't know. Sure.
It's like a rant. Well, that's just what the media reports and what they want to put on. That's the hot topic.
Okay.
But... then I'm probably not going to read into this, but it seems to mention Matt Kemp directly.
Well, yeah, because I've seen pictures that where she brought Matt Kemp to a game also, and that he said, no, don't bring that shit around here, but
it's kind of weird to say for somebody who, like, well, I don't know the exact denominations of like how, but just wildly guessing, I'd say 85%, 90% of NBA is black people.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it seems kind of weird stance to take for somebody who owns a team in that league. and for him to.
He thought everything was in private.
Yeah, he did, and I guess there's that kind of ethical thing. As
yeah,
far as
but the guy in that position can't be saying that kind of stuff.
But I guess that's kind of looking at it as devil's advocate. But he should not be saying that stuff at all.
Not that guy.
So where was this recorded? Like on her phone or?
Yeah, I guess she knowingly recorded. I guess according to her, I forgot exactly what she said, but she said it wasn't obtained through illegal means, but she still recorded it
because the wife is trying to sue her.
Yeah. So, and, all of us are, like you said, kind of racist, or else I wouldn't have found there was a meme of a picture of saying the Clippers starting lineup, and all it had was Hedo Turkoglu,
and half of Blake.
J.J. Redick, and half of Blake Griffin. But it's, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what to make of it.
But do you guys think the fine fits the punishment?
What, 2.5, what was it, 2.5 mil?
2.5 and the lifetime ban. They gave him the Pete Rose ban.
I don't see, I'm not sure if it's, as far as like the punishment, like whether he deserves it or not, but I think it's the right thing to do. Like I don't see how he can come back.
I hope he lives to be 105 and sees the Clippers win a championship. That'll be the ultimate in your face.
Will it mean that much if he's not longer running the team though?
Well, that's the whole point where they win a championship and he's not part of it.
He's not part
of it. Gotcha.
He's owner. He's the longest standing owner. He's owner since 80 or 81.
What if they win it this year?
Back in racist times.
That'll even just be more of a in your face.
And I guess that kind of brings it to like, let's say, well, there's been these rumors that supposedly Magic Johnson was the one that's looking into buying the team, but I've heard that I'm not sure if because when he took stake in the Dodgers,
does he even have the money for it?
He sold his stake in the Lakers.
Not him. He's got partners
to buy a stake in the Dodgers.
With him, it's just the name.
Yeah. Would he have to buy a stake? Would he have to sell a stake in the Dodgers?
Yes. You can't own multi-franchises
unless you're like the majority owner, right? Because I've heard that there was rumors that Mark Cuban was supposed to buy the Cubs.
Yeah, but they didn't want him to do that because he'd be a.
Okay.
Or I think some of it was that he had to get rid of part of the.
Because Magic Johnson's not majority owner of the Dodgers.
Right.
No, he's like a little guy, but he's got the name.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but if let's say Magic Johnson or somebody else, if another third party comes and buys the Clippers. One thing I was talking to you guys earlier before the show, do you guys think they would change the name of the Clippers, or would it be smart to change the name of the Clippers going forward?
He hasn't tainted the name.
I think he has.
I mean, they've been around for how long? People know them as the Clippers.
But they don't have a rich legacy. They've always been playing second fiddle to the Lakers anyways. And I think...
But they're starting to make their legacy.
Yeah, they're starting to. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, they're just starting to now. I could see them thinking that this is a good way to get a fresh start. They're starting to make a name for them. Let's disassociate ourselves from Donald Sterling and anything negative that's happened in the last couple of days.
But he didn't create the team. What better way is to keep the same name but overcome adversity with the same name?
I guess I could see that point of view too, but I don't know. I just see it something that will happen. I could see whoever comes in by the owner, they want nothing to do with the past history, whether it's something like what happened now, something this bad, or just the fact that the Clippers have notoriously sucked for what I don't know how long.
You should just change their name because of that.
Yeah. So
yeah, another thing was that they're saying that what about the owner of the Ducks getting, which comes down to the same thing about the whole Magic Johnson. If he owns them and then moves them over to the Honda Center, I mean, that would work out too.
Yeah,
that'd be cool actually.
Because right now they're even playing at the Staples Center, like right now in the playoffs, they're covering the banners of the Lakers.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
And they've been talking about that all season about the whole controversy of doing that.
Yeah, and I don't know. It just seems like, and even like the team itself, like in silent protest before the game started. Was it yesterday they played? I don't really follow basketball too much, to be honest. They flipped their jerseys inside out in protest.
Well, I think all of the NBA players did that.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they all did. I think the Heat did that just as an outburst.
So like I could see the Clippers even want, like the team itself, I'm not going to speak, I don't want to speak for them, but I could see them also wanting to disassociate themselves from Donald Sterling, because I'm sure none of the team is happy. I'm sure Doc Rivers isn't happy about the whole situation. Like I could see them being like, all right, in favor of a team name change. I don't know what they would change it to. It's not like they're strict. We have the
it's tough to pick a brand new name that no other team has, whether it's any other sport.
Would they have a goofy name if they switched to Anaheim, like the Angels?
That's pretty good.
The Los Angeles Clippers of Anaheim.
Okay, don't even get started with that name. That's all. It's all the owner Artie Moreno just fucking up.
Though I could still see them keeping the Los Angeles Clippers, but just moving here, whether they add of Anaheim or not. But because
Anaheim Clippers.
But again,
and then the Angels change it to the Anaheim Angels back again, and all you Dodger fans can stop talking shit.
That would be cool. And
moving on to our bread and butter, which is baseball, because we don't know shit about basketball. So we want to start off with the standings.
It's been a while since we had our last recording, and now the season's actually full swing. We're about exactly a month in, not counting any games played in Australia.
Yeah, 35 games.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's the 20s. No. In the 20s, because the Angels are 13 and 14, I think. Okay. So 27 games, roughly. Right now, so we're full swing, well underway. We got a good look at a lot of players, good look at a lot of teams. Again, it's only 1 month into the season, so there's still a lot of baseball to play. So kind of look at the standings, kind of look at how teams are doing, how some certain players are doing. And I guess kind of get a feel of what you guys think are some teams that are going to keep it up or not keep it up.
Yeah, I don't think the Brewers will keep it up.
Oh, yeah. Right now they're playing ridiculous. What are they? Almost 20 wins right now?
I don't think they'll keep it up as good as they're doing, but they have a solid team. Their pitching is there. Their offense is there.
Yeah, they have a solid lineup with douchebag Carlos Gomez and Ryan Braun, who's arguably a douchebag. Which
they're all on steroids.
I would agree to that.
But no, they got a solid lineup. Aramis Ramirez, Gene Segura, who just got hit in the face.
Aramis Ramirez will get hurt. He's old.
Yeah, I don't know why don't they check? I mean, I don't know how random these drug tests are and stuff, but when you're caught like Braun was, why don't they check fucking Carlos Gomez for steroids? That guy's roided out, all pissed off all the time, trying to fight everyone, and he goes from being a scrawny little bitch to fucking
now he's. It hurts me to say because I don't like the guy. He's probably a top 10 player in baseball if you look at his stats all around.
Yeah,
he's putting up Trout Junior numbers.
Whoa, slow down.
No, I'm saying junior.
Let's be real here. Come on.
Well, he's just almost just as fast. He's got just as much pop. He's outfield. He catches everything too. So I mean, he's pretty much comparable.
Look at his stats last year, which he hit 24 home runs. 73 RBIs, batted 284, 338. Doesn't get on base nearly as much as Trout. So he's only 20. Well, he's 27. So he's getting 28 now. Actually, he's getting up there. Well, he's hitting his prime right now. But let's say compared to the last 2 seasons, he had 19 home runs, 24 home runs, and that's off for his career only hitting 7, 3, 5, 8 roughly when he was with the Twins and the Mets.
That's kind of weird with Braun being there on the team. Right?
Yeah, so he's kind of recently started exploding with power, but again, we could mark somebody who's just hitting his stride right now. And
yeah, I mean, he swings out of his ass. I'm not sure how he used to swing before, but now he doesn't get cheated on any hacks. So it could be that.
Not to mention, last year he stole 40 bases. So he's not just putting in home runs and stuff. He's stealing bases.
I didn't realize he was that good. He doesn't get a lot of love because he's in Milwaukee,
and also because he's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Yeah.
He's known. I guess you can make the argument that all ball players do this.
All ball players do that. Pujols does it.
Showboats.
Puig does it. Gonzalez does it. All the players have been doing that.
But I guess.
But there is something about him on how he does it.
I admit it's a little biased. It's a little biased of me to kind of hold him more, because last year there was an incident with the Braves. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep,
McCann.
Yeah, with McCann blocking the plate, and I instantly sided on McCann's side, which I guess you could also argue.
Well, because he was running around the bases talking shit to each fielder.
To Freddie Freeman, to I forgot who was pitching at the time. I think it was actually I don't remember at all.
No.
But they were drawing it. Actually, it was Paul Mulholland, who's now with the Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
He was pitching, and he was drawing at Mulholland. He was drawing at Freeman, rounding the bases in. Out of nowhere, he just looks up and there's McCann standing blocking the plate in front of him. And now this year, the incident was between the Pirates. Mm-hmm. And again, he hit what he thought was a home run. I think this happened to Puig last year.
Yeah, Puig threw his hands up like.
Well, he does it all the time.
Yeah. Huh. And he looked at it. He ran. To his credit, he still made it third after looking at the ball, and all the way until it hit the ball, and he was barely rounding first.
Yeah.
He still made it to third, and then Garrett Cole was pitching, and he made a little comment to him.
Yeah.
And Gomez got pissed, and then an altercation happened, and then I think what ended up happening is Travis Snyder, the backup catcher for the Pirates,
someone got knocked out.
He got punched in the while the Brewers were holding him. They were just pulling him away, so it's not like they were holding him to get punched. But while the Brewers were pulling him away from Gomez,
he got nailed.
One of the Maldonado, got from the Brewers, literally just gave him a sucker punch right in the face. And actually, what kind of brings up a little bit of tangent, but you guys heard what happened with Russell Martin due to that?
The UFC?
He's arguing. He's asked. He's pretty much wanting to fight him in the offseason because he's.
It's his contract year. He doesn't have anything to worry about.
Time this out, bro. I gotta go pee.
There's no timeout. So
we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. And then
don't take the mic with you. Last time Jose
took the mic with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Well, we'll keep going with this. So Russell Martin challenged him to a fight in the offseason. Whether it's kind of just for show. Did he do it for?
He wasn't expecting Maldonado to agree to that, and then because he practices UFC, so
Martin practices UFC.
Yeah, so
okay.
so Martin can fight, and he's a pretty stocky guy. He's a pretty big guy. I don't know who this Maldonado guy is, but he can fight. So him asking him to fight, it's basically calling him out.
Kind of just showing, like, knowing he's gonna
say no,
and then he'll probably just kind of use that as a way to, I don't know, maybe show him that he's a pussy or just kind of like this comment.
Yeah, basically calling him out, like, if you want to blindside, my guy, and
because I think he made a comment saying that, just to make it fair, we should all hold down. The league should allow us to hold down, the Pirates to hold down Maldonado while Travis Snyder gives him a punch to the face. And I'm guessing that's because I looked at the replays a few times. And the interesting thing is when they handed out the suspensions, I believe Maldonado got 5, which is understandable. He got the most. Gomez got 3. Snyder got 2, the one that got punched in the face. And for that is because, if he wouldn't have ran out there and tried, because he didn't actually touch Gomez. It looked like he kind of just ran. They kind of pushed, and if Gomez fell down, then the Brewers got him. But if he wouldn't have ran out there
knocked him down,
and got right into it, he wouldn't have got punched in the face. He got 2, and Russell Martin got 1. And I'm guessing it might have been that one game he got suspended for his comments, maybe? Because I didn't really see him do much in the
he was trying to get back in. But the thing is, technically, aside from Gomez, Garrett Cole's the one that started.
Yeah, I'm saying he didn't get
anything.
Yeah, he didn't get a suspension at all. Do you think he should have got a suspension, or because technically all he did is say something really right away and then walk away? He didn't.
No. Did he even get kicked out of the game?
No, he kept pitching and he didn't get. Out of the suspensions, there was 4 suspensions handed down. Garrett Cole was not one of them. The pitcher. So, and he's the one that technically, I guess, according to him, what he said. I don't know if this is just him kind of toning down what he might have said. All he said to him was, "Next time, I forgot."
Know when it's out or something. Know your yard.
Next time, you kind of like next time you
make sure it's
pimp your home run. Don't pimp a double or triple.
Yeah, make sure it's out before you pimp it.
So and he walked away as soon as he said it. And then Gomez roided out and took off his helmet. But yeah, it's just one of the many so far interesting things that have happened in the season.
All right, so back to the standings. Any surprise teams?
Well, the one that kind of surprises me right now, not necessarily in a positive way, is the Diamondbacks. I did not think they were going to be this terrible. They've already lost 21 games. They're 8-21.
How many star pitchers? I know they lost Corbin.
They lost Corbin.
He lost Skaggs.
And they lost Skaggs to the Angels. They made a trade, got Trumbo, which...
they just got off to a bad start.
Yeah, a lot of Angel fans...
Is it just pitching or what?
No, their pitching is pretty terrible. Their pitching, I think last time I checked, I haven't checked in a while, it was... Their starting pitching ERA was a combined 5.21 or something like that, pretty high. That's combined.
You think the Australia start has something to do with it?
It might have, but then it didn't seem to affect... Well, actually...
Yeah, but Kershaw got hurt.
Whether
you can relate to
get
that
hurt, I never understood how
back spasms or something happened to his back.
It might have, but I guess the way you can chalk it up to is if you look at the Dodgers, maybe because if you look at the Dodgers' record, I believe they're 7-1 against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
because they've already played 8 games against the Diamondbacks.
You think about it, they play 2 games.
But if you do
the math,
they
go to preseason and then they go to regular. It's like,
but if you do the math, that means the Dodgers are 7-11 against everybody else.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So that means. Maybe it affected the Dodgers.
Yeah,
maybe they're only been taking over against the Dodgers.
Because the bullpen stinks.
Yeah, Brian Wilson has been pretty bad.
It's brutal. Even Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, Kenley Jansen
it's the same thing.
Chris Perez, I think I've seen not doing too well either. But it might have. But I know that we did this 2 years ago too. I believe it was the A's versus the Mariners. Played a game in Tokyo, I think, before the season started. Same thing.
That's right, yeah.
And
they're doing that every year, right?
The A's won the... No, I think they did it. I don't think they did it last year, though. I think it was every other year. Because
okay.
I remember it was the first time we saw Cespedes.
No, because last year they had the World Baseball Classics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think, it didn't seem to affect the A's. They came on to win the division that year. But
Well, he's always seemed to have a hot start at the end.
just seem to have any fucking player they
I
have.
don't think there's any team out there now that's showing any type of strength.
Yeah, because
Everyone's mediocre. Everyone's just beating up
No,
each
I
other.
mean,
The Yankees too.
the Yankees
I think
have
the
an
Yankees
impressive
are surprising.
15-10. Yeah, they're surprising right now because they have a 15-10 record, which is actually looking at everybody's division. I mean, all the other players, teams. They have a great record, but nothing about them strikes me as like that impressive. At least from what I've seen. Well, we just saw them right now. The Angels did the last 3 games, and
You look at their lineup. There's no one saying like, "Wow, that guy scares me."
Yeah, everyone's doing solid, but I mean, like, well, look at Boston. Boston's for shit now, and a lot of it's because they lost Ellsbury.
but I think a lot of it is too like maybe
Their pitching's not
maybe
good.
Boston just kind of caught a flash in the pan last year. Because honestly, looking at their team last year when they won, it just seemed kind of like an Angels 2002 thing where
No.
like they didn't have anyone that impressive, but it was just the right time, the right moment. They
Yeah,
came and won.
that's all it takes.
And actually, but speaking of teams that impress, one team that I do think is pretty impressive right now is the Braves.
Yeah,
Their pitching is amazing.
Yeah.
Their pitching 1 to 5. Their team ERA is below 2.0. It might have shot up now because I think
still early.
It's still early.
Still
Yeah,
early.
it's ridiculous. But below a 2.0. That's
That's
better than any Angels starting pitcher right now. And then we don't have any frame of reference to that many other teams, but going against the Angels at least right now, like their probably worst pitcher probably has a better ERA than our best.
Who really have they played? The Marlins.
Well, I don't know. Actually, really fall.
Because right now it looks like they're all played within the division. The first, 20 games.
I know they played some pretty solid teams. Like they've been playing the Reds quite a bit. Well, the Reds are scuffling this year, but they're for the most part been a pretty solid team.
Yeah, where are the Reds at? 11 and 14.
They're 11 and 14.
They're struggling.
They're struggling right now. But they have the Reds have a solid lineup. They got Votto, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, who's scuffling. I know because he's on my fantasy team. But no, actually, that's another team that's kind of surprising me that they're scuffling a little bit. But yeah, it's 1 month into the season.
It's a little
not
early.
much we can draw.
I mean, at this time last year, everyone was crying out the Dodgers, and they got an unbelievable roll.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers started last year like
Just as bad as the
5
Angels.
games below 500. Like actually, yeah, at one point the Dodgers were worse than the Angels, and look how it ended up. But yeah, I guess the main surprises are just the
Brewers.
the
Well,
Brewers.
the Braves, I guess you can always expect the Braves to be there every single year. Just
Yeah,
because
but
they've been doing it for
everyone
so
counted
long.
them out because they had the worst spring training out of anyone with all the Tommy John surgeries. And was
That's
it the
right,
top?
we're
So
number
they
pitchers out.
lost Beachy and Medlin, who
Yeah.
were the best 2 pitchers. Now they have Julio Teheran. They got fucking Aaron Harang.
Yeah, Aaron
Wow.
Harang and Irvin Santana had to step it up, and they've been lights out basically.
Irvin Santana, we know he always had it in him at least.
Yeah.
But how is he doing this year? You want to pull up the stats?
Yeah, I'll put it. Yeah, I believe he has.
Because that guy's always been inconsistent with the Angels. He's always had good stuff.
There's always been a joke because he has an off year. He has a great year, and then he has an off year. Great year, and actually I'm not even calling it off year. It's a terrible year. He has a great year and a terrible year.
Well, he always leads the league in home runs against,
yeah.
right?
And last year he had a great year with the Royals. So there was a joke that people were saying that he should be signed to a 2-year contract but being benched this year. Because technically this would be his off year, but that doesn't look like it's the case. This year right now he's pitched. I think he's made 4 starts. He's 3-0 in those 4 starts with a 1.95 ERA.
Which is awesome.
That's amazing right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's early, but
They're getting their money's worth.
he's
Wow.
doing amazing. And then let's compare Aaron Harang, who last year.
And they gave him the 14.1 million, right, for that year.
Yeah, so Irvin
Basically-
Santana has his motivation. He's right now pitching on a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah.
So, last year he had the motivation too, and he did it, but no one wanted to fork him the money for
Well, he was
him.
playing for the Royals.
Yeah, and his win-loss record didn't show. I think he was way below 500 with the Royals last year, but his ERA was amazing. But right now, Aaron Harang, let's compare last year's numbers. I know the Angels saw him a few times, and both times the Angels rocked him. So, but he was with the Mariners, and then he got traded to the Mets. But with the Mariners, he had a 5-11 record with a 5.76 ERA.
He looks mentally challenged.
and he's one of the ugliest players in baseball.
Physically?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a pretty ugly.
Not just physically.
he's an ugly man. Yeah.
He's close up there with Ibar from the Angels, but he had a
Mix it up with character. Come on.
No, Ibar is a terrible character. An asshole, but
and Pujols wants to beat his ass. But yeah, looking at his ERA now, he's 3-1 this year with a 0.85.
But see, you know what's impressive? 31 innings pitched, only 15 hits.
15 hits. So his whip is what? Where's his whip at?
.84?
Yeah, .84.
0.88.
.884. He's allowing less than one base runner an inning.
Yeah.
And this is Aaron Harang, who last year had close to a 1.
What's his career?
His career, he has a 4.16 career ERA and a 1.345 WHIP, which is terrible. So I guess
Roids, everyone's
It's not bad for his 12th, 13th year in the
no,
league.
but this kind of like this again. This brings to the point, like something I kind of want to talk about with in regards to the Angels.
that everyone's
too.
on roids.
No. Pitching. I mean, coaching. The pitcher's coach. How much does that play into account? Like, I don't know. I'm starting to think like, yeah, the pitching coach or even the manager, they don't play for the players.
No, but okay.
But there's something to be said. Like when you see, Aaron Harang, he goes from one team, sucks balls, and then goes to the Braves, who top from number 1 on the rotation to number 5. They're pitching amazing right now. Alex Wood, I think Travis Wood's on the Cubs. Alex Wood right now, his ERA after giving up, I don't know how much runs that he gave up personally, but the Braves lost 9-0 today. His ERA is 2.95. It shot up to a low 2.95 ERA. So when you're looking top to bottom, their ERAs are amazing. And then you see like a team like the Angels, where
Pitchers go to die.
Let's say, okay, let me bring 3 examples. Right now, 4 examples actually. Dan Herron's pitching with Dodgers, pitching very well.
He's surprising a lot of people.
And he pitched pretty. The last season we had him, he pitched pretty crappy with the Angels.
The Nationals, he pitched.
He pitched pretty crappy with the Nationals, so I guess that's an argument to go against me.
Scott Kazmir.
But Scott Kazmir now with the A's. Look at his fucking numbers. He pitched well with the Indians last year, but not what he's doing this year. Which
he was all mediocre, same thing like Herron.
No, but he was still the number 2 starter with last year.
Well, so you're saying is the Angels have a problem with the pitching coach?
Well, to your point, like, okay, going to that, everyone's always talking shit on Sosha, fire Sosha, get rid of Sosha, and then, but it comes down to where are they messing up since their 2002 World Series champion year is their bullpen, their pitching. Everyone, like you were saying, all the pitchers that were good that go to the Angels now suck. Any pitchers that sucked with the Angels and get fired or whatever, they go to some other team and now they're good. What is it? It's like, well, as far as like a pitching coach, the way I see it, they're there not to teach you to pitch, but to look at your mechanics, see if you're off, see if your release point's off. They're there to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
They need to learn every pitcher, see their mechanics, see how they're doing, release points, everything. And then say, okay, you're off now. You're throwing your shoulder. You're taking too long of a step. You're landing wrong. Whatever it is, and then work on that to get you consistent, and then to get you at your optimum fucking pitching abilities.
Yeah, but some of it's motivation.
Yeah.
And who else is around you? I mean, like the Dodgers. Who's around Herron? You got Greinke and Kershaw.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing for Ryu. He's still young.
No, but Ryu's been amazing.
Yeah, so you're competing against your own peers, but then again, Rick Honeycutt, their pitching coach, he was a damn good pitcher back in the day.
Yeah,
who's the Dodgers? Who's the Angels pitching coach?
The Dodgers to me
Butcher.
are kind of close to the Mike Butcher's terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
see, that's kind of like
for the Dodgers. Like even with you guys seem to have that similar effect that the Braves do, in my opinion, the A's do too. At one point, the Dodgers, like last year, or maybe 2 years ago, a pitcher like Capuano were pitching amazing for the Dodgers. Ted Lilly were pitching great for the Dodgers. Like they weren't doing like Cy Young stuff, but they're
getting the job
they
done.
were serviceable or very good. Not serviceable. So it's above that. They were solid number 4, number 5 pitchers, and this is something that the Angels have not had in the last couple of years. But even then, I guess the biggest problem the Angels have had is what you mentioned, the bullpen. And like I don't know if it's I guess you can't put 100% of the blame on Butcher, but it seems consistently the last 3 or 4 years the Angels have had all their relievers have had trouble throwing strikes and not walking batters. Like I don't know.
They throw the ball
Every
too
inning
high.
there's a walk.
About every inning there's a walk, and it's kind of refreshing when we bring players from outside the team like Joe Smith, who's had one bad game this year so far, but who comes in, throws strikes, gets the job done. And even it's a funny thing, I guess, when you look at it this way. Frieri came, was nails, and then spending more time with Butcher, he's now shit. But
it's like Jepsen. What happened to that guy?
Justin was terrible for like 7
He
years.
has great stuff. He just can't throw
Even with
strikes.
the new Army angle, he's still.
And I honestly think if he needs to be designated for assignment, but if we let him go, I guarantee somebody will pick him up.
The Braves will pick him up and make him a fucking.
And he'll be Jordan Walden for them.
Yeah, he'll be a 7th inning lights out guy. All right, let's move on to replays. All right, so I know a lot of people were upset with the replay that's slowing down the game. I think sometimes it's done right because like what coaches are doing is that now they go where they would normally go and argue with the umpire for fucking God knows how long and bitch and then get thrown out. I think there's only been like one person ejected and that was for a different reason.
Yeah.
But instead of getting upset and arguing forever and then getting thrown out and then making all these changes because now your manager's out, what they do they run out to the person that made the call. They stop and stare at their
dugout.
At the dugout and make sure that the guy says yeah or that it's challengeable, that it's close enough or whatever, that it could be overturned.
Yeah.
And so I think it's helped out. The problem I was seeing, and this was before our last recording, was the whole transfer rule, where that was getting fucked up because now we have high-speed cameras looking at the replays, and the transfer rule was that you had to catch the ball and maintain control as you're throwing it. And a lot of people are dropping it mostly in double plays because you got a runner coming at you, and so you got to look, where you're throwing it and make sure you got the ball, and people are dropping it. And as Joe Torre said it, that now it's two different things. From when you catch the ball and you close your glove onto the ball, now it's called an out from there.
Well, the thing is, if it wasn't okay. Before I get into this, in general, I'm in favor of the replay. Yeah, there's some kinks that would need to be worked out with this. Mm-hmm. Like, there's too much of
baseball's there's too many variables in baseball to have a workable instant replay.
Yeah, but in the case also they need to work something out with like managers just going out killing time while somebody checks the replay and then
But see, but before they've been used to just running out there and arguing and spinning up a storm for 10 minutes and making a scene.
Yeah.
Now you can't do that.
No.
It just takes that, to me it takes that element out of the game. It's like if you're not a fan and you see that on TV, that's pretty cool. That makes the game exciting. It's like when fights come in hockey. Everyone wants that's awesome. I'm not a fan, but this is cool. But now it makes it dull. Like, all right, what are they going to do?
But I think I still rather see them get it right rather than see the spectacle.
You got to get the play right. There's no doubt.
And as far as the transfer rules, I thought that was like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, I thought that was always kind of the rule that
kind of like the neighborhood play.
Yeah, if you close your glove around the ball, you obviously have.
It's now.
Like, yeah, just because it's slow motion, just because it happens in a millisecond that they drop the ball, doesn't mean they didn't have control of the ball. And like one thing I mentioned to you a while ago, like a couple weeks ago, was that by the rule from what I remember hearing the rule state was they must have control of the ball and release the ball willingly.
No.
The player is releasing the ball willingly. Yeah. They're just fumbling it in the hand that they're releasing it to.
Yeah, because they're catching the ball and it's transferring. I don't agree with that.
So let's say I can't. Well, I guess this is okay because we're on video. But let's say I catch the ball up here, and then I decide for whatever reason just to drop the ball from up here and catch it in this hand from like 2 feet away. And then I drop it. I still fucking caught that ball.
Still got it?
No.
Or even I just catch it and then directly release it to the floor. I caught that ball. Like, it's still in my hand, and I willingly let it go out of my glove. The thing is, I just wasn't confident. Not confident. I wasn't capable enough to just catch it firmly in my hand with the other hand. And they want you to turn that. When you're trying to turn the double play, you're trying to do it as quick as possible. You caught the ball. You're just transferring it to the other hand. And I don't understand what they see in the replay. The what's it called? They should
not be a reviewable play. Period.
I guess it should be reviewed. Yeah, that's true.
You can't. It's just like the neighborhood play. The neighborhood play. I think they designed it more around safety, so the players don't get plummeted or spiked.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point of them and why they probably reversed the transfer rule is because the same reason for the neighborhood play is that if they were going to call those as non-catches, then that meant that the fielder had to stand there longer to prove that they caught it. They had to stand catch and kind of it would count to one Mississippi, two Mississippi, and then pull it out and throw. So obviously now they got the base runner barreling down on them, and
they're gonna get plummeted.
Yeah. So
and I guess the one that I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if it happened even before that, but the one that kind of got me annoyed with this rule was it happened against the Angel, which is my first experience with it. It was Hamilton. It was a fly ball. I think it was one out, runner on second, fly ball, routine fly ball to the outfield. Josh Hamilton catches the ball, and while he's just calmly moving it to his other hand, drops it, and then picks it up, and throws it into the infield. And the runner, was on second, ready to tag, and then he kind of looked at the umpire like, well, did he catch it or drop it? Well, the umpire quickly called it an out.
Yeah.
And said it was an out. He dropped it on the transfer. The Mariners challenged it, And even like listening to the Mariners announcers, like, well, okay, that's an out. Like he talks about the transfer, and then they go to replay and they come and say that he dropped the ball. That it was not a catch.
That one actually took like 5 minutes.
And he routinely.
You see, but that's smart for the managers from the Mariners.
It's not smart for them to do it.
It's like, okay, what do we do? New rule.
No, but I think I'm not sure if this was the very first incident, but this is the first time I saw anything with it. So I don't know if the Mariners were like, well, let's try it out. Maybe they'll say he dropped it.
I mean,
but I don't understand how somebody. I guess unless they're only looking. Like, I'm not sure what they do over there, but they should look at it at real time and at replay. If it's real time, okay, he caught the ball. Like they know he just caught it and then he dropped it fumbling into the. It's not like he went like that and and they tried catching it with two hands and then dropped the other.
Who are
ball.
the people that actually do the replays?
I thought supposedly from what I hear,
it's an ex-umpire.
It's another team of umpires. Supposed team.
A team of
multiple people of umpires. Retired umpires that can't feel.
That's great.
But it's retired. I'm not retired. They're current umpires.
So it's another team of umpires instead of playing the field or
in New York looking at replays.
All right, so move on to Buster Posey. What did you have to say about him?
Well, for the Dodgers' sake, it's good if he stays a catcher. Because if he stays a catcher, there's no way he can remain this well as a catcher and being behind the plate.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it just doesn't work.
And you mentioned
Joe Mauer was the same situation. He was awesome as a catcher first couple of years. What happened? They signed into a big, massive contract.
And they can't afford to put him on.
Granted, they moved to a different field, which is different, but still, I mean, what has he done since then?
They've talked about that for a while, right? Even like before he got hurt, they were saying that he was too much of a commodity to keep as a catcher. Yeah. I mean, his greatest value is as a catcher.
But his offensive side outweighs his catching ability.
It's true. I do think his offensive does outweigh. He's off to a slow start this year a bit. I know because he's on my fantasy team. I think he's batting in his 230s or so. But he's like a 320-ish hitter that he'll
do about 320, 20 to 25, 30 home runs, 80 to 100 ribbies.
And he's former.
And he's behind the plate 9 innings a game, 140, 145 games, which is not easy.
It does diminish a bit. Like if he's not playing catcher and he's playing first, it does. Like if you compare him now to other first basemen, that makes him more of on a level playing field as far as he doesn't stand out as much. But still, they would rather keep that bat in the lineup. The only thing is, they have a first baseman who's this year he started off pretty hot. I don't know if he's going to keep it up. Brandon Belt. He has I think 7 home runs in the season, so it's not like he can just move to first unless he can play another.
No, I'm talking more long term.
Yeah, long term. It's smart to maybe protect him a bit. To I guess give him the Joe Mauer treatment where they move him. They're trying to protect their investment. I'm not that clear. He's not signed to a long-term deal with them yet, or did they already extend him?
I thought they did.
I thought they did too.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure.
I think they did it when he was young.
Okay, gotcha.
Like 2011 young.
So they might want to protect their investment then, and it's kind of similar like what I brought up to you with like Mike Trout, who the Angels just signed to a 6-year extension, and they're limiting his stealing.
Yeah.
Well, he supposedly has a green light. He's only stolen 3 bases. Well, now 4. He stole 1 today, but he's stolen 4 bases. 4 attempts. Kind of seems like they're trying to limit his game, and it's kind of the same thing with Posey. Part of Trout's game is how fast he is, stealing bases. If you're limiting his stealing bases, does that limit his value? So with Posey, if you're removing him from catcher and put him at first, does that limit his value?
But I mean,
yes, it will absolutely because he's not. A catcher's a hard, demanding position.
Yeah.
And for him to put those kind of a numbers at catching, it increases his value tenfold.
Yeah.
If he goes to first, you're just going to be like, or if he goes to the outfield, this is what we expect from outfield.
Yeah, because then when he's catcher, he's just competing with like people like Yadier Molina.
But you don't know how, because those that have caught the game know that catching 9 innings is damn tough.
Yeah.
And you got to go up there in clutch situations, the 8th or 9th inning. And I don't care if you've been doing it for years, your legs just aren't there.
But if he's playing first base, he can technically play every day. Because now what I've seen, catcher, you'll play a couple games, and if he catches the night game, he's not going to play the day game the day after.
No.
Yeah. So it does take his bat out of the lineup, like maybe 20 to 30 games a season. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe if he's playing first base, maybe it balances out a bit.
But see, that can be these days, that can be the difference between playoffs, even though it's a 1-game playoff, or winning your division and getting home field advantage.
Yeah. And I guess I could see it like.
In my baseball opinion, they should do something with that.
Yeah,
in my Dodger opinion, leave him the hell where he's at.
I think it'd be smart for them to move him to first long, but they'd have to find something either for Brandon Belt, or I guess if Brandon Belt isn't a long-term solution for them to be at first,
or put him in the outfield. I mean, hey, if Trumbull can play a somewhat okay outfield, Buster Posey could play an outfield. I mean, let's be real.
Well,
Trumbo
he's got an
the best
arm,
outfield.
so.
He's got.
Or maybe he can move like what was it, Russell Martin that moved from the catcher to third base a bit.
Was he a third?
He moved to third for like a couple games.
Yeah,
a couple games. So it wasn't like a thing.
He started as a middle infielder. When it was
and then Buster Posey looks like a pretty athletic guy. I don't know because there's like Craig Biggio who went from catcher to second base.
No.
So I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's something that they're
I
talking.
think he's too lanky,
too
long.
Yeah.
And that's why I see him diminish in his career because his body style doesn't seem as a career catcher.
Yeah.
Like I see a career catcher, you know what I think? The Molina brothers. Those guys are short, stocky dudes. Ponch Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I mean, then the long, skinny guys.
Russell Martin's like that too.
Yeah, the long, skinny guys. They don't last. I mean, look at Piazza. He didn't. He ended up his career at first, or DH with the A's.
Yeah.
You know the
He was
long,
ready for
the long.
the A's. He did he get like 30 fucking A's.
I think you were
He like-
9 at the time.
He had like 30 bombs or something with the A's.
Yeah.
It was
He had a good full career.
Oh my god.
All right.
Frank
Well,
Thomas did the same thing.
all right. Let's talk about some stats.
All right. Well, I guess we can kind of lump in this. It's the one after it, but
Yeah.
as far as stats goes, Pujols about a week and a half ago now, or about a week ago, hit home run number 500.
Mm-hmm.
He did it in pretty good fashion, where he hit his 499 and 500 both in the
Yeah.
same game.
500 was a bomb.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a creeper.
And actually, that's something we can kind of talk about right now too. It's something like Pujols looks like the Pujols of old.
Mm-hmm.
The last two seasons we had, his home runs were like pretty much wall scrapers.
Yeah.
Like, although he would still stare them down, like if they were 500 footers, but they would be like three.
You know what I don't see of him? Hitting the ball the opposite way like he used to.
That's true. That's true.
Because now it seems like he's getting more of those grandma
And even
everything he's hitting
with
is
the
a
shift
shorter,
too,
yeah.
right?
Straight shift, because everything he hits, if it's not a home run, it's a ground ball to
The
short or
third.
third.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I think now he just has his legs under him. I think maybe as the season goes on, hopefully he retains his strength and starts to go the other
yeah,
way.
because he's hitting a lot of extra base hits, line drives. That's something
Yeah.
I didn't see him do. He's fucking crushing balls out of it, hard, like 400.
He's crushing the balls on the road. How many home runs did he hit at home this year? 2?
He hasn't too many. Maybe like, 2-ish.
2?
He hit 5 on this road trip
Yeah.
Wow.
alone. And
I was hoping to see the ones at home, the 500.
I was hoping he hit a few more at Yankee Stadium. But he hit one there, a bomb there too, for 501st. So
You guys
right
think
now-
he can get the 700?
that might be tough. I
No.
kind of was doing the math. in
I
my
think he
head.
might do 6.
He'd have to average, because we have him for 8 more years. To get to 700, he'd have to average 25 a year.
He has him for 8 more years.
Actually, 8 years counting this year.
Yeah, so
7
7
more
after
years.
No,
this.
my son's going to be in college at that time.
He'd have to hit 25 a year for these next years to get to 700, which
He's not. I
If
think
he
he's
can- if
gonna
he can do
last
the
at
majority
most
of-
5 more.
this year he can,
Or
or
4.
unless he completely dies down, he can realistically hit 35 to 40 bombs
No,
this year.
yeah.
Unless he
Yeah.
completely dies down.
So what does that leave him with after that? So that's about
He's about
540.
530-ish, 540-ish.
So about 160.
He could. Well, I'd say for sure he's gonna hit to 600.
Yeah,
barring
I
any-
think
Oh, yeah,
600
600
would
is
be-
not a problem.
That's his cutoff point.
If he can get to 600 in the next 3 years, he has a legitimate shot. Because he has to do the majority of his damage in
Now.
these next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He has to hit close to 40 bombs this year,
yeah.
another 30 to 35 bombs next year, and then another
30 to
30-ish
35, yeah.
bombs that year. And that would already put him at 600, right?
Yeah.
So then he would have about let me do my math, like 5 years to get
So 20 per year.
20 per year, which maybe is doable. if
Depends
he's
on his health.
If
DHing
Yeah.
every year.
DH, yeah.
he's already looking like he's struggling. He looks like.
Plus, the ball doesn't fly out at NI Stadium.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
it's the marine layer and everything else, but it's.
I would love to see him get 700.
If he
That
gets
would be
700,
awesome.
maybe that would, because 500 didn't seem to catch much interest. Like, yeah, they had it on SportsCenter and they had it on
No.
MLB Network, but it didn't seem like there was many people talking about, oh, he hit the 500.
But
Especially
then
when there's
again-
players like low-key players like Jim Thome who reached 600.
But then again,
But he was in that era that, I mean, come on, that guy was a beast.
Yeah, and
He's also the third youngest to get to 500.
behind
So he was
Jimmy
younger.
Fox and Aaron.
Aaron.
Afrod or Aaron.
So I mean, yeah, Tommy got to 600, but Pujols did it younger. I mean,
But it's weird.
if
that-
we
I
can
don't know. That's
leave-
something I always just think is weird. Like, Jim Thome's an amazing player. Like, he was a great player, great career. But he just seems like a guy, like, when you think of 600 home run hitters, 500 home run hitters, there's only 20 or 26, 27 ever to reach that. So 600, I haven't checked the exact. I know there's like what?
There's literally a handful.
Sammy Sosa, Willie Mays,
Griffey.
Griffey.
Did Tommy get the 600?
Did A-Rod get to 600 right now?
No.
I thought he did.
Maybe he did.
Maybe.
I think
There
you're
are
right.
only about 8 players or so, I would say, that have reached the 600 home
Babe
run
Ruth
mark.
in here.
Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and Bonds.
Mays.
And so that's amazing that Jim Thome is technically one of the top 10 home run hitters in career. Which, it's fine. Congrats to Jim Thome. But he's very...
He was never been associated with any kind of...
Yeah, and he
performance
just... And
measure.
honestly, he just seems like a big dude. He doesn't seem like he's a guy... Like, he's kind of like a Frank Thomas to me. Like, I don't really think Frank Thomas was ever on the
So is Jim Thome a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Well,
No.
honestly, I think he'd have to be with 600 home runs.
Damn.
As a DH?
Right. Well,
No, he's predominantly first baseman, right?
Not towards the later,
But that was when he
his
was like
elder years.
When he was reaching, like 40 years of age, though.
I put Jim Thome, and then the third one was Jim Thome steroids.
Oh, really?
That was
Or was it just probably throwing it out? Because there's been like...
I'm sure he took some stuff.
But
He's
any
a big dude.
player who's hit a lot of home runs, even Albert Pujols has been, I think it was like Jack Clark.
Number 3, Jim
Yeah, until he
Thome
forced him.
steroids.
Didn't he try to... Tell him he was going to sue him?
Yeah.
And Jack Clark backed away?
Yeah. So any player who... even
612 is actually what he hit.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Like at one point, the top 3 home run hitters were Babe Ruth at... I mean, A. Karen at what, 750? I can't believe it. 755?
Yeah.
Barry Bonds.
Before that, maybe.
Oh.
At one point it was...
It was Bonds,
Karen
Mays.
75, Mays at 714. I mean, Ruth at 714, and Mays at 660.
660.
And then, so just those 3 players above 600. No one else was above 600 at one point, I believe. It was just those 3 players. And now you add in fucking Thome at
Bonds.
612,
Yeah.
Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and Griffey. I need to
What
check.
did McGuire end up at?
583.
Was it 583?
583 or 587, one of those.
God, I didn't know Thome hit 52,
No, Thome had a lot of really good
49.
years with Philadelphia.
47.
No, Thome had a long stretch of like hitting 25 plus. He's kind of like strikes me as even more impressive. Like Paul Merrow was another one of those guys that did it silently, kind of like he just hit 37 a year consistently for a while.
For like 8 years,
Yeah.
9 years straight.
And 583 for McGuire.
Look at that. It's not bad.
Actually, let me check A-Rod while you guys.
Well, he could have played a couple more years if he wanted to. Like look at Tommy's last 4 to 5 years. I mean, what did he really do? His home runs wise.
He played with the Dodgers.
12, 3, 8, 5, 3. So he really didn't. He was just hanging around to get 600.
No, he played 22 years. Well, as we're talking about
Okay,
the
so
stats,
Alex Rodriguez. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, 654.
He had
Jesus.
654.
So yeah, he did hit 654. And if it wasn't for well, I guess you could say if it wasn't for steroids, he wouldn't have reached this anyways.
His
But
first,
if it
time,
wasn't for
his
this
first
whole-
time or second time?
But if it wasn't for
That guy's credibility's got.
if he didn't get caught, there was a really good chance he would have reached the 700.
Oh yeah, if he didn't get caught.
so as we're talking about stats, we're talking about Abreu.
Well, for I guess to transition to Abreu, right now Pujols has 9 home runs in the year, which at one point was leading the majors.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until right now, surprising, Jose Abreu.
Yeah, 12 or 11.
Cuban,
The White
he's a
Sox.
10.
And he started off slow.
Yeah, a Cuban-born player who, at one point, a lot of teams were had like interest when he defected away from Cuba, and he's now broke some rookie records.
He broke
for
all
the
of
month
them.
of
He
April.
broke pretty much all the rookie records for the month of April, which is basically just the
But he's
start.
not your typical rookie. He's 27
No, he's actually 20.
on paper.
Well, on paper, yeah.
Because we know sometimes all those Latin American players, they don't.
Just like
Haven't
Pujols,
really-
he's probably 4 or 5 years
Probably
older.
just like Puig. I don't think Puig's that age.
Oh, actually, you're right. Jose Abreu is 27.
Okay.
So he's not your normal rookie.
For
It's,
some reason, I think it was about
You know.
Tanaka, who's only at 24.
Yeah. Tanaka looks like he's 37. Like he looks like the CEO of PlayStation or something.
But yeah, Jose
I
Abreu.
think
right
that was a
now-
racist remark. That's the lines of Donald Sterling.
Like I said,
He's leading the majors right now with 10 home runs. Not only is this a rookie,
He's got like
record,
35 RBIs.
32 RBIs, but I think
Wow.
he drove in a couple more. But 32 RBIs in 27 games.
That's
He's
impressive. I don't care how long you've been or how little you've been in the league.
Yeah, right now he's technically on pace for about 50 to 60 home runs and about 180 RBIs. So he's gonna obviously he'll slow down a bit, but if this guy manages to hit 40 home runs and 120 something RBIs in his rookie season, it's hard to argue that. I don't know. Like,
well, Pujols
The best
is what,
rookie ever?
42?
well, I think Trout has that.
Yeah. I still think Trout would be the best rookie out of all time.
Yeah, because this guy, his other number, actually, he's getting on base a decent amount, but he's batting 270, 342. So his other numbers, it looks like he's just
How much did he strike out?
26 times, which isn't that bad actually. I think Trout's
For a guy that's supposed to be a power hitter.
Yeah, so he gets the bat on the ball quite a bit, but
26 out of 107.
Yeah, but like, compared to let's compare him to Trout, who has struck out.
Trout strikes out all the time now.
Yeah, that's kind of something that's disconcerting about Trout is that he's seems to have cranked out his strikeout ratio.
Yeah, but his average is still remaining.
No, his average is still great right now. 327, 391. I'll take that over the 10
Hey, you
bombs.
strike out all you want as long as you're getting on base.
Yeah, 391 average.
What's his on base percentage?
391.
And that's the thing. If he was to swing, because the reason he's striking out a lot more is he takes a lot more pitches. Yeah. So
yeah,
if he was to not take so much, he takes a lot of borderline calls. With 2 strikes. So I mean, if he was to foul those off or try to put those in play, he strikes out maybe a quarter less of the time, swing at the 3rd strike instead. So I mean, I don't know.
See, this bothers me about Trout. For a guy who can steal bases, he only got 10 walks.
Yeah, he did.
I think that's more concerning than
that's what's kind of another concerning because last year
he led the league in walks.
He struck out 136 times but walked 110. Pretty close ratio, 1-to-1 ratio.
I think the strikeouts are getting a little bit more overinflated because at least you're swinging the ball.
Yeah.
When you're swinging, you're trying to put the ball in play versus you're walking. You're getting your chance. You're getting on base. It's like the whole ace thing. You're getting on base. What happens when you get on base? You have a chance to score.
I think he just needs. He's still. I think the thing is he just needs to be not as selective with his. He's looking at a lot of strikes. Last year, what he did, he looked at a lot of pitches, but he was looking at a lot of balls. He was actually taking the correct pitches he's supposed to be taking. Now it's just been seeming like he's just being even more patient. He's being equally as patient, but he's letting a lot of balls, strikes go by.
Do you agree with what he does? That his first at bat, I mean, he looks for strikes or whatever, but after his first at bat, I don't know if you've noticed, first pitch he does. I forgot who used to do that. He drops the bat on his shoulder, like
lets it go by.
Just lets it go by, whether it's right down the middle. And pitchers I've started noticing, and they'll just throw a fastball right down the middle, knowing that he's just going to drop the bat on the shoulder. He doesn't swing. Second at bat and on, doesn't swing a first pitch, no matter where it is, no matter what it is. Right down the middle, doesn't even lift the bat.
The thing with Trout is he's like, this is something he needs to work on then for that, because he's one of the best at making adjustments. Like I think there was a stat showing like what his batting average is through the first time through seeing a pitcher, and then his second at bat, third at bat during the game, it shoots up a lot. Like you would think part of that would be noticing, okay, he's throwing me a first pitch right down the middle. All right, I'll swing at the first pitch.
Yeah.
But he's the kind of guy, I guess, he likes to make the pitcher work a little bit, but sometimes it's a little to his detriment where he ends up striking out a lot more often because of it. He's giving the pitcher one free strike, basically.
So when he's ready to swing, he's already down 0-1.
And again, I don't want to make it sound like we're bagging on Trout because this is complete nitpicking for a guy who, in my opinion,
he's pretty badass.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He's the best player.
I mean, this is
Yeah, so it's nitpicking. It's just something like saying like, oh, I just wish he could be even better, like he already is. But but it's impressive to see young players like, well, not young, he's technically older than Trout, but Jose Brady, seeing a new guy coming into play right now.
I think the pitchers will learn how to throw to him.
Yeah, it could just be like.
But unless he's just that good of a player,
but it could be a Puig type situation where Puig came in, batted 450.
But then again, Puig's got a lot on his mind. I mean, he's got like the mafia, I mean,
cartel.
He's got the So he's he's just kind of distracted in a way. I don't. But that's not a fair comparison.
True. Yeah, because I guess my comparison with I guess Puig, once pitchers started realizing how to pitch to him, he's a very impatient hitter. I haven't really seen Abreu enough to see. I've seen him enough to see exactly like what his style of hitting is. For Puig, you can see he was kind of impatient.
Well, what I see a lot on MLB is he's hitting the ball a lot the other way.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Puig was doing at first. Yeah. Hitting the ball the other way, and now Puig is there trying to pull the hell out of it.
And all the pitchers seem to make the adjustments on him. And
there you go. And as soon as the tape goes around and the word gets around.
Because Puig has struggled to look. As an Angel fan, I can't say it hurts me to see this, but like I did kind of call it, saying a little bit that he's going to struggle a bit.
You like it.
Yeah, he does. He needs to make the adjustments. Like, pitchers are going to make the adjustments on him. He struggled towards the end of last year, which is kind of indicative of, okay, unless he makes the adjustments, he's going to continue to struggle this year.
But then again, in Cuba, how many games do you play during the season?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah. See, and that's he played, 120, 100-something games? That's a lot of games.
Yeah, they don't play, like, even Japan, like, so they play, like,
they don't, yeah.
Some games, they don't play as much. So maybe that's winding on him a bit, but, yeah, Puig, I don't know if Brady's going to be another Puig where he'll slow down a bit, and then yeah, he's gonna need to make the adjustments. Whether he can make them or not, I don't know. He's still only a month into his major league career, but he's been impressive.
It's damn impressive. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's about as impressive as D. Gordon has been this year.
And D. Gordon.
Who's noticing? Just like that Charlie Blackmon dude.
And Charlie Blackmon, D. Gordon.
Where did that guy come from?
Where did that guy come from? Yeah.
Yeah, he had that 6-for-6 game out of nowhere, and then
You
all
got
of
him
a
on
sudden,
my fantasy team.
Yeah, I seen that. And yeah, he had that 6-for-6 game early in the season where I think he got 3 doubles, a home run, and 2 singles or something like that. Drove in 6.
What was that in Colorado?
This was in Colorado, but I don't know the exact stats, but he was one of only I think 5 players in Major League history to go 6-for-6, score at least 4 runs, drive in at least 5, and hit a home run or something like that, or have 4 extra base hits. And I think the other 4 guys were all Hall of Famers, except for Sean Green. I think Sean Green was the other one that was because he had a 4 home run game that he had. But
and then Mazaraco too. What's going on with that guy?
Who?
Devin
Devin
Mazaraco.
Oh, but he just got on the DL though right now.
Yeah,
He's a career 220 hitter or something like
batting
that.
like
He
600.
was batting 570-ish or something like that.
Yeah.
But then he went on the DL. But he hadn't played as many games as
Not as many, but he was close, and he was still batting close.
Because I think he's
600.
normally the Reds' backup catcher, right? But because of how he was batting, they started playing him again.
Yeah.
Because who's their Ryan Hannigan or no? I forgot. I don't know who their backup catcher is, but I mean who their starting catcher is. But yeah, he was. I saw him on your fantasy team, and he was turning it up until he went on the disabled list. But yeah, there's a lot of players like Alexi Ramirez from the White Sox, and also with Jose Abreu. He's batting 370-ish, I think, leading the AL. But yeah, there's a lot of players that are having surprising good years, and then there's players like Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, who's also on the Giants, which might cheer you up a bit right there, who's batting 160. Well, I guess Ibanez is
It's
43
early
years
still.
old.
I mean, look at the Dodgers outfield. Terrible.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
the Dodgers' offense haven't been. It's more like their pitching that's been keeping them in games, right?
They're getting 3-run home runs, and it's scary.
Actually, Juan Uribe and Adrian Gonzalez, I think, have been carrying the team, right?
And D. Gordon.
Oh yeah, D. Gordon. Yeah, D. Gordon. Who
Uribe's
stole
also on my
14 bases, and he actually hit 2 bombs already, for a little guy.
One.
Oh, just one.
He's one, but he's getting on base and creating havoc. He's
extra base hits, stealing bases.
Yeah, turning singles into doubles. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, He looks like he's a guy who, because didn't he bulk up 20 pounds or something supposedly?
15, 20 pounds.
Well, when you weigh
It's like a
100
different
pounds. All right, so we're gonna call it quits now. We're about the 1 hour mark.
Yes.
Hey, if you guys want this guy back, just say the word. So this is Bert.
This is Sam.
This is Ponch, and I can't promise any less bathroom breaks than one.
So we'll try to do this maybe once a week, or when more events happen in baseball that merit us having another podcast. But we'll see you guys next time.